Mhm.
We had a day off, and then I was in the room preparing stuff for our matches, and then I was also like watching her practice with them. And like by the way the scrims were going, I had a pretty clear idea that she was gonna get the spot. Like,
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview. This time covering Spotlight Series Americas 2024. And for this occasion, I'm here accompanied by Effys, the head coach for Shopify Rebellion. Well, for this occasion, it's going to be Shopify Rebellion slash Cloud9, a different ball game, but same person. Effys, pleasure to talk to you. And I can definitely say that the first thing that changed from my last interview with you, that being last year, is the hair. Where's the hair, man? Where's it at?
it's gone. It's in the waste bin. I told my team I would shave it off if we won two champs in a row, and then we did. So I had to go through with it. My honor was on the line.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't able to capture all of the action from yesterday. I believe that happened at the very end of the day. You can kind of correct me on that, but yeah, like how's it feel? How's it feel being bald, man? Like I know I've been bald like a few times before, and then like the hair kind of grew back, but I'm thinking of doing that again very soon. But for you, what's the feeling like? Are you? Do you feel like you're in a club for bald people like myself?
I definitely feel part of a club now. I feel included. Also, it feels really cold. It actually, I people told me I'd be cold, but like I never imagined it would be this bad. I've had hair my whole life. It's my first time going bald, and honestly, it's really, really freaking cold.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll just take a few days of getting used to the new
Yeah.
environment, and yeah, like your scalp will definitely get acclimated to the whole thing. I speak from experience, and so yeah, hopefully this kind of thing can kind of continue on further, and yeah. Now kind of want to ask you about just sort of the team in this event. I mean, the first thing that I kind of want to ask you about, just kind of Imi, I believe it's the first time you guys have been kind of reunited in the same team in any capacity, from Diversion one day. So how does it feel kind of reuniting with him in that aspect? This time as as a coach, not as a player.
It's actually been really fun. Like not much else to say. Like it's just been a really good time. Like him and me have always worked well together. It's also nice because like right now he's got like a lot of experience. He's been coaching two VCT season, 2 years of VCT, I think, or like one and a half. Like he's obviously got like a big experience gap on me. So I'm learning a lot. Like I think he's improved a lot as a coach since when I was playing with him as well. Like I think he's much better now. So it's definitely like it's fun and it's also like a learning experience.
Has there been kind of any like discussions you had with him, just sort of talking about the journey, and the kind of paths that yourself and also Emi has taken? Because like going from version one, obviously you guys took different paths. Emi had to kind of go to different teams before joining Cloud9, and then yourself took a little bit of time, as a player for version one up until you left and then went over to Shopify, won two championship world championships, no big deal. And yeah, like, has there been kind of any kind of catching up in that regard between you two?
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, Amy and I, like, despite the fact that we're on the same team, we still talk a lot. Like, we still message each other, like, I'd say weekly or like monthly, like just checking out and like checking up and just we still talk a lot. We talk about the game, we talk about our teams, like we just exchange a lot. So it feels nice because we don't see each other in person that often, and now it's been like twice in the same month that we hang out. So like, yeah, we have like all these nostalgia talks and like everything, but it's not like we haven't talked like for like we've been in touch for like the past 2 years regardless. So like it's fine.
No, yeah, I definitely understand that, and I also want to just touch upon just sort of the vibes of the team, like, because like of course this is off season, and there's really nothing much to play for other than just having to like have a chance to compete. But yeah, like how has it been kind of just approaching this event, and basically has there been any kind of preparation done, or is it just kind of all vibes, no, nothing really that big of a deal?
Well, we haven't prepped for it. Like we haven't scrimmed or done anything. Like we just go one day at a time, and then but we're still here to win. Like we're trying, like we're kind of a middle ground. Like I think we're one of the teams that took it the most seriously. Like we play like normal comps. We play like we don't like troll, but like we're trying to win the event still. But I don't. We didn't prepare. We didn't do any scrims. Like we just talk about vetoes and we talk about comps like the day before, and then we just go into it the day after. And I mean, so far it's been working sort of well. I think, yeah, it's been good. Like, I think the vibes are like really good on team. Like, everyone's on the same wavelength about the expectations and everything, so it's nice.
Yeah, like I can definitely see that, with the team kind of performing all very well, and obviously going ahead over to the finals and beating a team like MIBR. And yeah, like now I kind of want to touch upon, how has it been for the team, well, more specifically Shopify, from the end of winning GC championship for the second year in a row. And so and obviously, like, I gotta ask you just sort of the big change, Florescent going to Apex. I remember looking at an interview that you did with Sliggy and Minnie, shortly after winning the title, and you kind of alluded that, regarding where Flores was going to go, that you probably had an idea. And so I
Yeah,
want to ask you,
yeah, I
like,
knew.
yeah, like on the day, did she tell you, like, on that day or something like that?
No, no, it's been a long process. Like, actually, Apex reached out to us during our last boot camp in Toronto, like in GC3. And then obviously I've been in talk with them. Our manager has been talking to them, so we could get her like a way to trial for like. So we had to take some days off from practice so she could trial. So we were aware from the thing, like from the get go. Like, they reached out to us and we made it happen. Like, I even saw her trial with them. Like when we were in Berlin,
Hmm.
we had a day off, and then I was in the room preparing stuff for our matches, and then I was also like watching her practice with them. And like, by the way the scrims were going, I had a pretty clear idea that she was gonna get the spot. Like, I don't want to say too much, but she was owning everyone in the scrims, and then she was vocal and like, I could. At that, I know Valorant's like at that point. I was like, if they're not picking her up, they're trolling. So like, I knew it was gonna happen when I saw her scrim with them. But it's been no secret. Like, I've been looking out for players for like the past 2 months because I knew this was coming.
Yeah, like, so just to kind of get of a clarification, so she was actually screaming with, or more so trying out for Apex, just before the start of GC Champs.
Yeah, basically, we flew into Berlin for our own boot camp on the, I think it was November 1st, but she flew to Berlin on October 27th just so she could have 2 days where she could scrim with them.
Okay.
And then she scrimmed with them, and then they wanted an extra day. So during our own boot camp, we had a day off. And then that day off, she didn't have it. So she played with them during that day off. And that's when we were all there. And then I saw her play with them. But like, I was already knew that she was playing with them.
Yeah, and that eventually became the result, Fluorescent going over to Apex and, being the first GC player in the
Yeah.
partnership era to make that jump to tier one. And yeah, like I mean, on one hand, it's an amazing achievement for a player like her to make that jump. But on the other hand, for your team, you're losing a major piece, but still, like, just looking at that, seeing it happen and see her make that jump, what went through your mind when you saw that, that was 100% was going to happen?
Honestly, I was just happy for her. Like, Flor is more than a player for us now. Like, Flor for me is like my friend, honestly. And I'm just happy to see her succeed. In no shape, like I had not a single bad feeling about that. I'm like, I think she was ready for it. I think GC was not the best place for her anymore. I think it was getting sincerely too easy for her. Like, it felt like if we had kept on this roster forever, we would just never lost. Like, I don't think we've like I think it's good for the scene. It's good for our own team because we'll have to reinvent ourselves. It's good for her because she's gonna have to just like prove herself now, and she's gonna be more because she lacked motivation to like at some point because just nothing to play for. And I think it's just good for everyone to be honest. Because like I said, if we had kept this roster, it just kept. I don't think we would have lost next year either.
Yeah, it just goes to show how good of a team that Shopify Rebellion squad was, and how,
I mean,
yeah,
we'll see in the future, but this one that we had before was something.
they're definitely a dominating series. And yeah, like I kind of, as we kind of talk about fluorescent, I remember this one tweet that you put up in response to the official announcement about Apex bringing in fluorescent. And then you gave like a very interesting, or not, more so very heartfelt and very touching words for her move. And then she just gave you the response like "fuck you." Like,
Yep,
well,
that's
I
her.
mean, does that kind of encapsulate everything?
Yep, it says everything. It's a like nothing else to add to that. Like, that was just. Try like it's just how it's been with me and her for like the longest time. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, now we're kind of wrapping up on the time limit, so I got one more question to ask you. I mean, sure. I mean, losing Florescent on one hand, pretty bad, but as you said, now you have a chance to reinvent yourself and now have a chance to kind of do double duty in the sense that you'll not only focus on GC, retaining the crown, but also focus on, getting to challengers and playing against other teams within that level. And so, what's going to be like the general approach, or more so, the one thing that you and the rest of the Shopify girls will emphasize going forward into 2025?
Well, obviously, going to challengers would like is the goal. I think that Flor going to tier 1 is amazing. We're all happy for her. I think the timing is a bit unfortunate, and it's not no one's fault. It's not Flor's fault. It's not her fault. Like it's not Apex's fault. It's just it is what it is. We would have loved to try and go into the next challengers with her. Obviously, just like because that was like our peak form because we had so much practice and everything. So the timing of that is a bit unfortunate, but our priority right now is just getting another player. We couldn't do too many trials because of the spotlight event, and then we also needed to rank after champs. But coming back from this event, priority number one is going to be doing trials. We have already like scouted. I have been scouting players for the past 2 months, so like I know who I want to trial. And then yeah, that's priority number one.
For sure, definitely do see that. And so, thank you for allowing me to give you the spotlight in this spotlight series in this event that we call Spotlight Series. To try to make a pun right there. So, Memphis, thank you so
You.
much. Take care in the next one.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too, man.
Bye.
Bye.